Good morning. And welcome to a new, hopefully productive couple of hours of interaction system implementation, like it's been. And yesterday the focus shifted a little bit to, let's play this. To properly display the interaction shortcut we have here. So it says E right now. And to be able to do that and support switching of input types mid-game, I had to introduce my input handler to the player input component. So that was just yesterday's adventure. And now we also have one of these input action assets, which is nice. Okay, so the question today is, I want to implement drop, interaction drop, but with this new input handler, I don't think we have a working jump right now. Because the idea was to do we have an action? We do have an option here. I just want to see, is that pickup? I wonder what happens if west pick up. Very interested in. Okay, so now our character actually picked up himself. Okay, that's one thing that needs to be fixed. It should not be able to pick up oneself. And then I want to implement a drop. And then we also have the jump. So previously jump was bound to the space button. But I want to change it to, like, if we're not focusing anything, jump should be on the number one interaction button. So the question is, like, jump in itself isn't really a interaction. I don't know if it's by definition, but interaction is between two entities, I would say. So how can I introduce interaction jump or action jump in the flow that is already established? I guess one hack would be to do interactor jump and have it as a interactor that doesn't depend on anything, that doesn't even need a focus. Is that what I want to do? But yeah, the problem with that is that the interactor implementation as is pretty dependent on processed entity. You could extend this system once again to include interactor or actor, and then interactor as a subclass of actor. Do I want to rewrite it again? It wouldn't really be rewriting it, it would be more restructuring it. So then you would have actor. So you would have actor that is doing something but on its own. But I don't really know what that would include. So I guess jump and run. But like in some ways it would be extremely nice to split it up into actor and interactor. Let's see here, I just need to check this definition. Interaction. Action or ongoing interaction between... Okay. Can I get a definition? Yeah. Interaction is an action that occurs between two or more entities, generally used in philosophy. Okay. What's up, Harukanan? Good morning. Fuck. Should have thought about this way back when. So playable entity. This one works nicely with the interactions right now. So I could either extend this. Like, I wonder... Harukanan snowed in at home, can't get to work. I refuse to pulsa. Yeah. Work from home it is. Yeah, we got some snow here as well. Not nearly close to forcing me to pulsa. Yeah, I really thought the winter was over. But I guess not. see here, interactor. I could probably, if I would like to rename this though. It is always a disaster here when snow comes, like it is winter surprise. Yeah. Every year the same story. A lot of instances seems to be surprised by some snowfall. Fuck, would it be nice to have action, interaction. Ah, fuck, I don't know. Add listener to interactor. Let's see here. Interactor state change event. Add listener. So the input interactor map is pretty. Yeah, they just work with interactors. I mean, I could also go the route of like interactor is basically an action, so we could have an I action interface. And work with that in input interactor map though. That would be one way to do it, and maybe change it later down. That would fix pretty much everything. So we'll let that. So action. Yeah, I'm gonna introduce action, but I'm gonna have to plan that one out really thoroughly and maybe even like make it part of Interactor. Because action is going to be a very big part of the game later on when queuing action for AI agents and stuff like that. But for now, we'll just use the action to make the communication with interactors and actors, I guess, a little bit better. But then of course we have, let's see, input interactor map, unbind interactor. When we bind it, set button information. Oh yeah, we had that one as well. We actually bind it, bind action to interaction action. Yeah. So invoke currently does bound interactor interact. It's stuff like this that I'm gonna have to work around. Interaction type, pick up drop 1. Okay, so if it's just, let's see here, jump, walk, I think I would actually like a base class 2 interactor. But let's see here. Possibly rename interactor. Possibly add interactor. Possibly make interactor subclass. It feels because okay, I just need to take a step back once again. If we do have something called like actions, they're probably gonna have action dependencies. Like we won't be able to jump if something is true. So it's gonna have interactor dependencies, interactor dependency types. Do I use this anywhere? Oh yeah. It's going to have an interaction type or action type, I would suppose it is called. It's going to have a state, and it's going to state change as well. It's not going to have a processed entity, that's for sure. So that's the only difference. We're gonna have action and action interaction. Action interaction drop. Action interaction pickup. Okay. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. So we have an action sprint, for instance. Action sprint. And then you can define how much energy should be drained during sprinting, and so on and so on. Get interactor dependency entity. And I want jump, like we're gonna have actions or interactions, or like action and action interactions. That, for instance, jump. If we jump, I don't want to, like I want to disable a group of other actions. Ooh. Like I feel a little bit stupid to once again choose to extend this, but it would be so nice. Let's see here. Get interactor dependency entity. We're gonna have something similar. So that one will only return null, I suppose. Update state. Yeah, gonna have to clean this up a bit. But I want to see, do we have it open? No, we do not. Before I jump into this, I want to see if this makes any sense for player movement. For instance, we have jump here. This would be an action jump. I guess this as well, or maybe not. No, not this one. Ground check. This would probably be down here. Jump force would be there as at least. So what do we have? We just call jump. Yeah, so this one doesn't really need to know about jumping. But jumping need to know about is grounded though. But is grounded is probably better located in body, I suppose. Anyway. Okay, so jump could definitely be its own action. That would be very cool. And then you have sprint. This one might be something I need to work around though. Like, we're gonna have interactors that, or is it just focus actually? Playable entity. We have some button maps going on here. And focus, the interactor focus is it unique in that way that it will always get its entity from outside, while all the other interactors at least gets its interactable or entity from inside, like from interactor dependency. It's a big step to do this. I just wonder if could I, although action rings sounds much better to me at least, another approach would be to make jump an interactor, like whatever it interacts with, the entity it interacts with is itself, basically. But that's ugly, isn't it? But that might be a first step, actually, before refactoring this once again. Let's see here. Or what is it? There we go. Make implement interactor like this. Yeah, probably want to rename this. But interactor jump, what do we have then? Like if we made it into an interactor. It's ready to process. Get interactor dependency entity. Entity provider, interactor dependencies. Okay, so we're gonna return 0 here because we're not gonna have one. I don't think. But it could also be return null. If it's null, return false. Yeah, doing it the other way around is so much nicer. Fuck. Because then functions like Okay, so if we go with interactor jump, we're gonna have problems with interact entity, process entity. Like this one always want to process something. And yeah, we're gonna have I'm ready for this. What's up, Aditya? How are you doing today? Get interactor dependency entity. So yeah, this one should be able to return null, but it's how we use it later on. So here, if it's null, we just return false. It's not ready to process. But for interactor jump, it would be, because it's not dependent on an entity provider. Aditya, yeah, I do. I think so. Is processing specific entity. Am I even using this one? No. Congratulations, Aditya. Really, congratulations. That's huge. Okay, so if I go the action route, we're also going to have to introduce namespace. We don't want any collisions. Although... action. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about this. So like let's see, we're gonna have interactors that, so it's not really gonna be interactions but actions that don't need another, that doesn't need a interactable, i.e. no entity. And then we have, like most interactors right now, like I mentioned previously, it's pretty much only the interactable focus that currently gets its entity from the outside, or is being fed the entity. Except for that one, it's okay. I'm leaning more and more towards, I have one thing that bothers me in here, and it's this check right here. I'm not entirely sure, like this works for the specific case, like we wanted to lock the focus interactor to not be able to focus anything if its dependencies weren't fulfilled, so we don't want to like quit, but I don't know. is interactable provider. This is also one of those, like, I think I would much rather, let's see here, like have a separate one here. Let's see here, like have a separate list here. For that one, so interaction dependencies and entity providers maybe. Okay, so that would pretty much be action. Single or entity action that doesn't rely on a interactably interactably. Then you have action interaction, entity action that relies on an interactable, basically. Then you have action type and action state, so that's just renaming interactable. Action dependency. That's interactor dependency. Do I want to go with action dependency, or do I want to, like right now, interactor dependency, interaction dependency, like we do have interaction dependencies that are interactable providers, and that's why we have something like this. I wonder if I want to have a separate array for that. Probably never gonna have more than one. Dependency, I don't think. Or, I mean, provider. interactor dependencies, interactor or entity provider. What's up, Cypher? I think I would like I would probably, okay, if I would go with this action approach, I wonder if I want to do probably, let's see here. And we're gonna do this. Implement the interaction system. I need to check. And this is old. Okay, I want to do this first of all. It makes too much sense to not do it the action interaction approach. I'm just trying to Interactor focus or interactor focus. Okay. Process, is that the naming I want to go with? Fuck, I'm just gonna dive into this. Might regret it later on, but pretty sure this is the way to go. It's gonna make the AI system click a little bit better. So let's just do this. Or we're gonna call it action interaction. Because then I would like to have something like what is it? Jump. Do I want to make it as modular as, so jump, run, sprint? Fly. Probably. Or Cypher, do make stupid suggestions. Do make stupid suggestions. Diligence, humility. Hey friend, are you making progress? Fuck yeah, I'm always making progress. Sometimes more, some days more than others, but yeah, you know how it is. Come on, Cypher, I'm waiting for that stupid suggestion. I'm making this too modular, but how cool would it be? Like, Interactor as it is right now works pretty good with the planned AI system. It would work even better with like just refactoring it into an action system. Any way of implementing procedural what? I may be thinking of it wrong, ignore. You gotta poop. Poop is definitely gonna be an action. And that's true, like action is, that's not pooping is not an interaction, or is it? I don't know. For creatures it's going to be not an interaction, but for the player, he's probably not going to do it, but then it's an interaction with the toilet, I suppose. Using it, that is definitely an interaction. Good morning, Dark Summon, and welcome to this discussion. We're discussing poop. Nah, but I have this problem. I do love the interactor system we got in place right now. It's very modular and robust and so on and so on. But I do want to extend it once again, but this time to also include actions. So I want to support interactions, or I want to support actions where we only have one entity doing something, but not depending on another entity, basically. So you gotta care for the pets, that's a whole lot of actions. Yes, feed though. Feed, clean and pet, those are all interactions and would be pretty easy to just implement with the current interactor system. But if we talk about actions like jump or poop, like some creatures will do, sprint, fly, then we're talking about just actions, so nothing getting switched between two entities, just one entity doing something. Before I continue, I just need to run AFK real quick. My headphones just died, so I need to put them, start loading them, and get my wired ones. Be right back real quick. Oh, back. Sorry about that. Good morning, Love. How are you doing today? Fuck, I should have thought about single entities. Single entity interactions, or actions then, I suppose it is. Jump, and then I wonder... So yeah, my smooth brain is thinking of animations first and looking back from that, working back from that. Hey, sometimes the brain just works like that. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep, like, I'm like on the edge of, there's so many things going on in my mind right now, including animations, because I want to know how I triggered them in this system and such. But like, so what I have now, or what we have now, this interaction system is, also I'm happy about it. It's just that it doesn't support interactions, if that makes sense. So I just need to extend it a tiny bit. Good morning, Cynic. Who knew game dev would be so much work, eh? I do love it though. So I guess walk. Run, sprint. They're pretty similar. Fly. Actions, poo. Pee, pretty similar. Crawl, fuck yeah. Is crawl, walk, run, sprint. Crawl. Swim, definitely an action. Do I want it like this? Let's do it as... Can you mount a pet? Good question. Hasn't been, like, I've thought about it, but probably not in the initial, like in the, it's not included in the least viable product or minimum viable product. Can a pet mount us? Nah, that's not included as, maybe later. I'm starting to get sick now. Girlfriend has been sick for a week now. It's my turn. I'm sorry to hear. Yeah. We have a pretty similar situation going on here at home, and it sucks. So hopefully you will be okay. Parrot on my shoulder. Yeah, okay, so creatures mounting characters or humanoids might not be that bad of an idea. Action interactions, pick up, consume, equip, collect, converse. And like die, question mark, is that an action? I don't know if it's an action, but like when I'm thinking about how to implement it in game, like die definitely want to invoking die definitely wants some other interactions or actions to stop. If you have death, you need birth. Everything from an egg. That's true. I haven't thought about like displaying a birth, at least. I do like the idea of eggs. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking, Cypher. At least from the start. And I do... It's also... So... The interactor system not supporting non-interactions, so to speak. That's one thing I want to extend, but interactor dependency as well. So right now these are structured as either this one is not in this state or this one is in this state, but it's pretty much, and they are all used to check if another interactor is ready or not, or set the state. So these are pretty much all used to set the state of an interactor or help set the state of an interactor. I would like to have something like lock. So if this interactor dependency is in this state, lock this interactor. So that is what we need with the focus interaction, I think. Like, something should always focus whatever it's interaction with, interactor, or whatever it is interacting with. But is that actually the case? Maybe it's not. That was just something implemented for the playable entity. And I'm speaking, like, I'm talking about this specifically. This line was added solely because I wanted to lock the focus on the object that is picked up. Okay, so now oh yeah, we're showing one now. So we have it like this. Although I wonder... Coding Nerd Fletch, thank you so much for the follow, appreciate it. Are there any other cases where I want to lock the state of a interaction other than this? I don't know. Could a pet steal a food item you're holding or get drawn to it? Yeah, that's the idea. Like pet at least stealing from each other, basically. And that is, so that's going to be an event on the interactable in question, I think. But I don't know. So many things to think about. But focus interaction is also a very specific interaction or controlling one. Decisions. But I think, okay, I think I know one way to make it a little bit better. Okay, let's take the jump and refactor this one into actions. I think that's the way to go. Pretty sure. It all started at, let me just clarify, it all started with, like, I want my system to be, when the character is played, I need to offset the so how the character is played is that we have a primary action button, which is south right now, or we have 4 action buttons, or they are called interaction buttons, but probably gonna change it. So we have 4 action buttons, and if nothing is focused, action button 1 is going to make the character jump. If something is focused, it's going to be populated by the supported interactions, so for instance pick up or consume or whatever. And for my current implementation, like, it would be very nice if the current implementation that displays the possible actions to the player would also support interactions that don't rely on a secondary entity, i.e. actions. And then that got me thinking, so I've thought about this for the past 2 days. And that got me thinking about the AI system for the creatures. So right now the interaction system is built to work with a AI system where you just feed it a cue, for instance. Like, it's hungry, trigger, looking for food using interactor focus, and it found something, trigger, consume by interactor consume, and so on. But we also have, so like, these actions, like, so I want to queue things that don't rely on a second entity in the AI implementation of the creatures as well, like run and jump. Yeah. So I just want to clarify that the extension of the interactor system is not only because of the player actions populating the user interface, it's also about the future AI system for the creatures. But yeah. So this is extension number 2, I think, in as many weeks. But you know, sometimes it be like that. So, interaction. Let's do action. We're gonna get so many errors now, but Norin Dev, hi, how's it going, mate? It's good, it's good. And you? How are you how are you today? Interaction state, interaction type. Probably want to go with interaction or action type and action state. And when we're working with something named action, we're gonna have to use namespaces as well because of the collision with C# actions. If I don't want to do system.action all the time, I think. But yeah, probably gonna introduce namespace, or rather, like sometimes in the future. So, but let's just go with something very general right now. But specific enough to not collide, at least. Okay, so when it comes to these states as well, available, ready, processing, unavailable. Norin Dave, I'm good just now. Oh, nice to hear. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Available, ready, processing, unavailable. So unavailable is for an action that is disabled for some reason. Available is an action that is not disabled. Ready, then it's ready to process. Is process the terminology I want to go with? Maybe. And then we have processing. Action type. Okay, so here we have, let's see. How did you change all instances of text at the same time then? Mark whatever you want to change and control F2, I think it was. Yeah, control F2. And then you have F2 if you want to like rename. Like control F2 is just string comparison, while F2 is what do you call it? I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, variable comparison. Yeah, maybe. Like it's the actual. It's a little bit more logic behind it. And like so many times I get at this point where I have an enum definition that defines a lot of different values, and I want to have some form of structure within this one. What sucks with enum though, if like the order here, I might want to change it in the future. But like if I change this one, then all references are gonna get fucked up. But so for instance, I would like to have action types. I would like to have actions, so the ones that don't rely on a second entity to be first here, and then I would like to have those that do down here. So for instance, walk 100, I suppose. 101 maybe. Run, sprint, jump, crawl, swim, climb, and so on. What's up, Illuminati? How are you doing? I saw a good video on needs-based AI in The Sims 1. Thank you for that link. We'll definitely save it. And it's probably not too basic. Thank you for the tip. Just gonna copy this one. Illuminati, in India we don't take names of our elders, but I think it's fine. What do you mean? Did I just fuck up? Yeah. So the idea is to have these as, so these are actions. We're gonna have these first, and then (101) to like, I wouldn't call this a standard, but I've seen this in so many places. I'm just not a big fan of it, and this, like the look of this and the inability to change order or add. So let's say for instance that I just had this one. So I had a walk and sprint, and then I want to introduce run into my game as well. Let's just see. So I would like my order to be, actually let's do it like, We have walk, run, sprint. Yeah, okay, so let's say I wanted to introduce jog. And I would like it to be located here. Of course I can do it, but like it's not going to have the correct value. It's going to be 1 and 8 then. It's just, I just find these enum collections or enum definitions to be very immutable. D-Sabbath, I'm curious, why not use state machine? We're going to use state machine. Our own implementation of state machine. So, like the interactor was pretty much is pretty much a state machine. I'm just in the process of extending it a tiny bit. But yeah, so that's why maybe I shouldn't even explicitly define these numbers. So could just go, but I don't know how good that is to do. But like with functions like this, you get around having to rely on the numbering here at all. D-Sabbath, I tend to avoid enums for this kind of stuff. I usually go for a scriptable object approach that inherits from another scriptable object, like I action type. Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with you there, and that's one of the reasons I went with a scriptable object approach for the attributes. Do I want to go for a scriptable object type for this as well? I'll see, we'll keep that option open. Fuck, I would really... When I think about introducing like idle as well here. That's an action, isn't it? But let's wait with that one. What? Action dependency then, I suppose. Did I? Yeah. I screwed up the name of that one. Action dependency. Although, let's do and probably gonna take this opportunity to make this a little bit prettier. So action dependency type in state, not state. It's interactable provider. I don't want to do this exactly this way. Interactor type. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's rename this one to action. Oh. Dependency type, interactor reference. Little Sharma, what's up? How are you doing today? I'm good. Action. Okay, it's fulfilled. This one is going to do interactor reference. If we don't have it, return true. Yeah, that's probably still the case. And here, switch. Yeah, I want to do dependency type and dependency state. So switch dependency type, yes, but it's going to be case action. We do need a or do I just want to do public? So in state return action reference dot is in state dependency state. This song is pretty good. Is in state dependency state, but with a big fat exclamation mark. a little bit nicer. Dependency type. Would in state, not state. Yeah, okay. Probably gonna introduce action dependency. We're gonna have multiple lists with them in action, I think. So that's a tiny bit of a change. So I want to have like action dependencies that tells if one action is ready to execute, and I want to have action dependencies that tells if one action is locked, pretty much. I think that's a... But like... Do I really need it? Or can I just do it like I have? Like, it's more like... Okay. So... The dependencies decide if, or helps an action figure out if it's ready. But the question is, I'm gonna have to think about that one, but yeah. Okay, action compared to interactor. Interact dependencies, I'm not too sure. Do I care about this one, or can I do it in a nicer way? Like, this one is pretty much just for setup. Like, when we have our interactor dependencies, the entity want to set up the dependencies so they will work. Can I do it in a nicer way? Like, this is pretty much only used in animate entity, actually. Here, interactor dependency types. No. I don't think, like, an option to do it, or the other way to do it would be to have state. Fuck, do I need this one to be public? To have something like serialize, or we're gonna have to do field, serialize field, public action dependency, dependencies, get private set. Might just do it like this, to be honest. Because if we take a look at animate entity again. Okay, so like refactoring, when I'm refactoring to extend, you get a few improvements in there as well. But like, why instead we could just do interaction or action dependency actions in action dependencies, and then we like just fetch the type from here basically. Yeah, action type is public get. Yeah. Yeah, I want to keep this note, I think. Okay. This is also a thing I might save for the subclasses. Focus won't need an animator. It won't need an attribute handler either. It won't need an entity. So yeah. Type we already have, right? No. Okay. And yeah, we want to do want something similar to this, so yeah, might want to take state and move it. Although interaction state, no. Action state. Don't like the look of that, so state compare. Processed entity or processed entity. We don't need that one in action. Not gonna do all of this. I wonder. State is equal to interaction state available. Might do. Or actually, I'm gonna keep it a little bit simpler here. So private, if the subclasses want to do some instantiation, they are gonna have to. Or actually, that's all of them might not need to do it. Let's go with private void awake for now. Just want to do. Want to make it available from the start. Start, get interactor dependency entity. This is also something that. Ooh, let's see here. Nah, the action won't need this one. The question is, however, if it's gonna have it but always return null. I'm not sure. Update state. This is something I want to clean up as well. It's ready to process, it's ready to process, is processing, is in state. It's a little bit all over the place, and I'm certain it can be simplified quite a lot. Spruce Mountain Games. I'm Swedish. That was spot on. Has interactor dependencies. Okay, so here we ask for one specific. I'm not sure how needed these are right now. Add interactor dependency reference. This one I need though. Just gonna call it add dependency reference. Get interactor dependency on interactor type. Let's just do is equal to dependencies where first or default, where why is it suggesting state? Just gonna call it D. D dot type, action type, right? Is equal to Interactive dependency, interact reference, state change event, add listener. Yeah. If yeah, so this, we're gonna do this here instead. I wonder if, what's the reason I put this one here? But let's just see. Action dependency dot set interactor reference. That's not what I wanted to see. Set I'm just gonna call it set reference actually. I think. Okay, it's not equal to null. Or, now when I think about it, these are non-unity objects, right? So I should be able to do conditional nulls, but do I want to do it? Would be nice to just do. Ah, fuck it. Let's do it like this. Action dependency dot set reference action. And we have update state. I want to rename this one. To update state. Update state. Let's call it that for now. So add listener update state. Wait, what? Does it need to be? This shouldn't. Oh yeah, I think. it's this one, right? But more like let's keep it like this for now. Interact. Yeah, we're gonna go with process here. Don't want this just yet. Oh yeah, we want interactive dependencies are fulfilled. So how do I want to manage this? Do I want to do it like this, or probably. So let's do an update state. Here I actually want to do, so if it's probably going to be something like this. Let's see here. This is why I don't think I want to call this update state, because I think I want to do something like if state is equal to available, or something like if it's not in state available, return. So this, so maybe check readiness. Because I think I just want to allow for something to go from available to ready. I don't want it to go from process to ready. Or like this one is let's see here. dependency state change or something like that. Probably want to go handle dependency state change. If state is not equal to available, return, otherwise we want to check if we're ready, so that's pretty much just if our dependency is fulfilled is equal to ready. So if state is equal to available and dependencies are fulfilled, change state to ready. But now it's more of a question of, or now it's more a question of handle dependency state change. Is this all I want to do in this method? I think so. Now we're gonna have process. Do wonder if we don't care about this, we don't care about this. So process and stop processing, what do we do here? State. Yeah. Process and stop processing. Okay, I want both of these. I'm just thinking if I'm gonna go with the subclasses having to override these, or if I'm gonna do abstract classes specifically for the subclasses. Start processing, stop processing, or okay, maybe let's go with expected. What did we interact? Yeah, I'm gonna do check ready state. Yeah, I think I want to call it this and do public try set ready state. Very specific because I want to utilize this one later on. But I think I'm going to go with public void or bool maybe, and try start process or action try start. Gonna keep it to void for now. Try start. Yeah, we're gonna do try stop. If is in state dot is in state action state ready, or if it's not in this state, return. Otherwise we're going to start, and try stop is going to be if is in state action state processing. Do I want to call it processing? Yeah. And then we're gonna have some, so it's probably gonna be protected abstract void start. No, I don't. Try start processing, try stop processing, start processing, and stop processing. Much nicer, I think. If I can keep it this simple, but that's going to be the goal. I want to do some debug logs here as well. But interactable, yeah, we don't need this yet. We're going to set these things, however. So it's going to be like this. Let's see. Debug.log. Let's see if I can just snatch this one. Interacting with, yeah, we're not gonna have start And if start is go, then we do state is equal to action state processing. Otherwise, or like if we try and stop the processing and it goes through, then we do state is equal to action state available, I think. And after that we do try set ready state. But then we have to send in an action. Yeah, this sucks. This is it's mostly utilized in animate entity, or actually in playable entity. Where do we have view? Down there. And more specifically here, display interactor options. It's because we want an interactor here, because it gets set to ready. So I wonder if I want to do get interactor dependency entity. This is ugly. But yeah, okay, so we check is in state. So like here we don't really use it. I wonder, is it ugly doing something like this? So this one is null by default, so we don't need to include something when we call it. It's just because like add listener state change event, like it's pretty handy knowing which action that changed state, right? So I think I still want to keep this. Like this here. You're pretty sure. So when we try stop processing, we're gonna do, so if it's processing, we're gonna do this. So if it's processing and we stop it, it's always going to fall back to available. Then we just want to see if it's ready again. If it's try start processing, we're always going to check, is it ready? If not, we won't be able to start doing it. And try set ready state available. So pretty much this is the only function that can make something go from available to ready. This is the only function that can make a state go from ready to processing, and this is the only state that can make something go from processing to available. Unavailable hasn't really been introduced just yet. Okay, a bit more streamlined. Or way more streamlined, actually. Would be extremely happy if I could keep it as simple as... Or if I could keep the simplicity to this level. Okay, I think this can be extremely nice. So, interactor, previously we had interactor dependencies, and one of these were entity provider, like this. Not very pretty, but we're gonna have a separate... We're just gonna have a separate reference to an interactor dependency, I think. Or how do I want to set this? Or actually, I might keep it like that, but let's see here. I wonder if I want to do action dependency. So in state, not state, and I can't have entity provider here. Now we're gonna have a separate reference to a action interaction, like entity provider. Entity providing action. Most, if not all, okay. All but focus will probably have one set. Okay, so what I've done so far is pretty much taken the part of interactor that doesn't depend on a second entity and put it into action. And now I want to take the rest of it, put it into a base class to action. So which still utilizes this. But before I do that, I just need to run AFK real quick. Be right back. Okay, back. Action interaction. But I want to go as far as abstract class. Yes. So, what do we need? We need processed entity. If it is entity, I want to go with, but I think it is, or interactable. Gonna try and do public interactable, processed interactable, or just interactable. That's pretty cool, Cynic. Yeah, do it, do it. I might hit you up in the future. Public interactable, but like Cynic, you posted some gifs from like a robot with a procedural animation walking in grass, right? If I remember correctly. Was that from a game you're working on or just trying things out? Interactable. Oh, nice. Yeah, gonna go with interactable here. I think this can become real nice. We're gonna wait with this. We don't care about state checking now, so like action will handle the state. Get interactive dependency entity. So this is a hard one. So I'm thinking of doing Add dependency reference. Okay, so add dependencies or add dependency reference. Yeah. I would like to be able to, like in action interaction, I would like to be able to define a dependency that is an interactable provider. And then I would like to be able to, like that one should be set together with add dependency reference. That would be nice. I don't want to change anything in action dependency, which I did previously to allow for this. Instead, it would be better to do, let's see here. I wonder if I want to do make this private, have a function that is get dependencies, or like this. Dependencies are fulfilled. Or so it also comes down to the question of, like, right now entity is in charge of setting these references, and think I want to keep it that way. But like, I want to add an additional dependency, or okay, so it's gonna be, let's do it like this. First or default, yeah, we're gonna change that as well. Okay, let's do it like this. Serialize field dependencies. Or actually, we're gonna do it like this. This is gonna be a problem I'm gonna have to tackle tomorrow, because like previous days this week, I'm gonna have to cut this one short. Do want to continue this action implementation though. I think this is the way to go. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to quit it for today. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow, and have a great rest of the day. And Dead Robot Dev, thank you so much for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dark Summon. Pretty much all my streams this week has been short, right? But yeah, real life, you know. Yeah, bye everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.